Hello guys, I hope your day is going beautiful. Amphisign is here. I want to make a little update today. The thing is, I'm planning to make a new playlist in my YouTube channel which would call something like Do It Yourself or The Way I'm Doing Stuff, where the plan is next. I know that many of you are asking how do you do this and that and what tools do you use and which way do you use them, and there are so many of those kind of questions that I decided that instead of trying to explain it to you with words, it's better to one time see. So now, since I'm doing a lot of stuff like drawing articles, doing banners, doing UX, UI, doing illustrations and other stuff like this, what I'm going to do is just record myself and later edit those videos together, trying to explain what are my steps, what is my thought process, and hopefully those kind of do-it-yourself videos will help you to learn something, see how other people are doing it, and maybe borrow some kind of ideas for your own flow. So I hope those kind of videos will be useful for you, and I already did the very first video, you can see it right here. It's about banners, how I've managed the banners preparation flow for my token sale campaign. And the second video, which I'm going to present for you today, is about illustrations for an article. So currently I'm working on an article about the market problems and our solution that is trying to disrupt these problems. And apparently I'm backing up on my points with some research, with some studies, with some trends. And the draft of the text is already prepared. And in this article there are 4 bullet points that I'm trying to cover. Since the text is prepared, the draft is there, I can already start working on the graphics, illustrations to help the material digest easier and better. Okay, so what are the main elements that I'm trying to use in every article I draw? First of all, I start with bullet points because for me it's easier to grab the style, to understand the main points, and to see what are the most catching points, right, that I can actually take later and put on the cover image. Okay guys, so now let's see what do we have at the moment in our blog. As you can see, as I've mentioned, there are a few blogs. First one is about ICO, our opinion about ICO in travel industry. Then we also have experts' opinion and also travelers post about their experiences. So, what's important here is that each blog has its own style. For example, first one, as you can see, is on the orange background. Also, our guest post is under the gradient. Obviously, we should also stay consistent creating our new blog, which will be about product, about the problems and the solution that we are trying to implement. And I think that I'm going to invert the colors from the ICO blog, which means they will be on the violet colors with the same type of illustrations and orange fillings instead of violet. Now let's see what are the graphics for each article. As I've mentioned, we have a cover image, we have illustrations for each bullet point, and they are actually looking the same. But for the new blog, I'm thinking to make the cover image on the inverted colors, and illustrations I still want to leave the same because I kind of feel that it makes sense to diversify cover image from the bullet points and leave this kind of graphics also. Here is my file that I usually work on when I'm creating articles. As you can see, on the top we have a couple of cover images. Here are the bullet points images. And what I'm going to do is just copy-paste those 3 and make them 4 and create new graphics for our new bullet points. By the way, here is the text that I'm going to use for creating the new article. As I've mentioned, we have a couple of problems, and for each problem, a block of text that we will try to visualize in one concise idea. And just a side note that the second point has 2 micro points in it, sub-points I would say, the reward and altruism. And we will use another sub-graphics for visualizing those points. So yeah, the challenge for this article would be to stay concise, would be to fit the block of this new article series and try to not mix different visual styles in the mind of a reader. Anyway, let's go into it and start drawing our ideas on a paper.
Yes, I was born with the curiosity.
So we are done, and now let's see how it all turned out. So our new block is going to be on the violet background, which I think is pretty well distinguished from other blocks. What's inside? Now, as I told you, I did a cover image based on the graphics that I defined for the bullet points. We have 4 bullet points, each one is done on the orange background, and on the second bullet point we have 2 sub-points, as I mentioned in the beginning, and I did them on the violet, but I make them short, so they are obviously not the major bullet points. Now, considering all the graphics that have been created, I just felt that this particular illustration feels a little bit better. It shows that we donate in our personal data, our likes, our opinions, our shares to corporations that just keep growing, and I guess that's the biggest issue that we are trying to solve, and that's why we put this kind of illustration at the top one. I think this is it for today, and I really wonder, and I would like to hear your opinion about this kind of format of do-it-yourself videos. If it was useful, please let me know in the comments. And if you think so, I'll keep posting those kind of videos for you to learn something further. Thank you for watching me.